Alright, good morning. Today is Monday, the 26th of March, and I wanted to, it is 10 minutes into the open right now, Monday. As you can see, the market gapped up quite a bit today. So I wanted to show you a trade that I'm currently in right now. Just got in a minute ago at 14.03 even. The market's trading at 14.02 and a half. Let me tell you the reasons why I have decided to take this trade. The market on Friday closed right here. Friday closed at 13.94 and a quarter, okay? And today the market has opened up at 14.01 and three quarters. So we've got a pretty big gap here. All right, as you can see, the market is getting, well, let me go to a daily chart here real quick and show you where we're at and what last Friday, what I was talking about Friday. Friday, remember I gave you these significant numbers here? Remember we measured from the March 6th low up to the 20th of March's high, and we drew these fibs right in here, and I showed you that the first level of support was 38.2% retracement at 13.79 even to 79 and a quarter. The market went to 80 and a half. It missed it by 1 point, and look at the bounce that we've gotten. 24 points up so far from the first level of support, the support that I pointed out to you. At this point, I find a big level is the high that was put in place on the 20th now. Okay, right there, the 20th high is 14.08. So we want to pay special attention to 14.08, because if we can't seem to break it in the next couple days and we start coming down, then this 13.80 and a half is significant. If we break down through 13.80 and a half, then I expect the market minimum to test that 50% at 13.70 and even potentially down to 13.61 and a half. So those are big levels. 14.08 to the upside, and then of course 13.80 and a half to the downside. Okay, so let's go back to this chart. So again, we are short at 14.03 even. One of the reasons behind that is we gapped higher. We are at the daily R2 at 14.03 and three quarters, and we hit that to the tick today. And this bar here is one of my reversal bars, the second bar here. So we've got a relatively low risk trade on now, because at this stage, since the market was able to penetrate down through these two lows here, the 14.02 and a half, these equal lows, my stop is now above the high at 14.04 and a quarter. So I'm risking a point and a quarter on this trade only. I'm only risking a point and a quarter. Again, short at 14.03 even, with a buy stop now at 14.04 and a quarter, 2 ticks above the high of the day. Right, 1 tick above the high of the day would be 14.04, and I never stop myself out at rounds or halves, right? So it'd be 14.04 and a quarter, risking a point and a half. All right, and to the downside, let's do a little work here. I want to measure from Friday's close to today's high so far. Right, the 38.2% is down to 1400, so 1400 and a quarter is definitely a support number. Again, we're trading above 1400, right? The centile number of 1400. So I'm expecting that to act as some type of support the first time back down. Today's low, I'm short at 14.03. The low of the day is 14.01 and a quarter. I'm looking for a retest of that to take some profits off the table. And let's just, while we're kind of sitting here waiting a little bit here, again, this is a bit more of an aggressive trade, but it's a very low risk trade. A point and a quarter in my book is a very, very small trade, and I think the downside could be a bit larger. So I'm looking to take some profits off on a retest of the low of the day. Again, that low of the day is 14.01 and a quarter, so I'd be at 14.01 and a half. Looking to take probably half of my trade off at 14.01 and a half with a point and a half only, and then if we break down through the low, then I would manage it even closer. So Friday, where were we on Friday? Friday we outlined a couple good trades in the morning, and then when I ended the video, I told you I was going short right in here, and that was obviously a losing trade. As you can see, it moved higher. The stop was right above the pivot. and that was a stop. So again, 2 trades in the morning. Well, actually 3, and then the third one here was a losing trade. But then, as you can see, the bars turned from red, right, downtrend, to uptrend. You see the bars turned green here. Ran up to this high. Beautiful pullback right in here. You had a bunch of stuff here. You not only had the blue action zone, but you had the 200-day, the 200-bar moving average there. You had the 50-bar average there. So it was a great buy in here. That was a winning trade. Came up, popped up through R1, came right back down again, and gave the last trade of the day to the upside. Profit objectives hit to the upside and done for the day. So Friday was a nice day. Again, today, Monday morning, I typically don't buy or sell on a gap, but in this case, I wanted to give it a shot. And as soon as we got into this trade, very shortly after, as it broke down through these 2 lows here, a 1402.5 moved the stop down. So now the stop is above the high of the day at 1404.25, and so we're just kind of watching this right now to see what happens. The first profit objective is 1 tick above the low of the day. The low of the day is 1401.25, so 1401.5 is where I am taking off a portion of my position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video so it's not too long. I'll talk to you in a minute. Alright, we're still sitting in this trade. Another reason for that trade, now I don't know, again, the market gapped higher, and I do suspect the market probably will move higher. If it busts up through this high, we'll probably continue moving, but really the first half hour to 40 minutes really dictates the remainder of the day. One of the other reasons why I put this trade on so early was, if you look at this closely, look at the first bar, second, third, 4 consecutive bars, 1, 2, 3, with higher highs in price. And then if you look down here at the NYSE tick index, all right, you were getting lower highs here. As the market was making higher highs here initially, you were actually getting lower peaks in the NYSE tick, and it's continuing to drop. So look at this, as the market's pretty much moving sideways in here, you see this tick moving down, which is completely diverging. So again, it's a probability game. You're trying to stack the probabilities in your favor, and more times than not, when I see this type of pattern occurring, that tells me typically that the market is going to move lower, at least a few points lower, to respond to this tick reading. So again, it's a probability game, and all you're trying to do is stack the probabilities in your favor, and that's what I like to think I'm doing, because a majority of the time this does work. So let's be a little bit more patient on this one, okay? Again, the risk is very minimal. We're risking 1.25 points only. That's nothing. And I think if the market can come back down and retest the low of the day, we take some profits off, we go to break even, and if the market continues to break down through the low of the day, then we've got a chance for a bigger winner at hand. So let's be a little bit more patient. All right, look at the market has definitely pushed up. We've got how many bars up here? We've got 1, real close here. If the market breaks up through the 1400, I would expect the market to continue moving higher. But that's why we've got our stop in place at 1404.25. Takes us out immediately with a relatively with a small stop. Out of the market, we'd be flat. So again, we're going to be patient. We're not going to pull the plug on this trade early. That's not really exercising good discipline. I've got a plan in action, and again, risking 1.25 points in the E-minis is very, very minimal. And so I'm going to keep that in place. And again, if we break up through the highs, then we would be looking to look to get long on a pullback at logical places. So we're just going to exercise a little patience. I apologize, this video is getting long again, but I'm going to pause it real quick here again. Alright, back again. Market's right back up there at 1403.5, hitting its head on the high of the day. Again, the stop is at 1404.25. Let's see if it can break through that. So it looks like it wants to push through. It definitely looks like it wants to push through. But again, don't want to pull the plug too early. Again, only risking 1.25 points on this trade. If we do break up through this high, then I would suspect that we're going to try to move higher. Definitely. I mean, so far after this gap, we have not. The market hasn't even attempted to try to fill that gap, which does indicate some strength here. But again, let's just sit and watch and wait. Let price action tell us what it wants to do. Alright, here we are. So the market did in fact pop up, lost 1.25 on that, not a big loss at all. Alright, everything looked like it wanted to at least try to pull back a bit to give me at least 1.5 to 2 points, but it didn't. Again, it's a probability game, and today it didn't work out. Again, the NYC tick was moving lower as the price was actually going sideways. Thought it would come down, but I've seen over the years, yes, when you do get a big gap like this and the market doesn't even attempt to try to fill that gap, it's probably going to move higher. Again, took a stab at that though for a quick 1.5 to 2 points. Did not work out today. Oh well, that's part of the game. Hope that helps in your own trading. And you know, you got to follow the rules, stick with it, and you know, small stops. That's the name of the game. Small stops aren't going to kill you. 1.25. So now we're looking to get long on a pullback here for sure. Hope that helps. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.